Hello everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink and Natural Hair channel. If you were viewing the channel during my whole year long, matter of fact, slightly longer than a year base study in which I was trying a different base and like pairing it with a bunch of like actual toppers that I had in my collection, you will have seen me do a lot of usage of the Wonder Curl Get Set Hair Jelly. That has been like their premier styler for quite some time. Well, the main complaint at the end of that base study that I had was like, hey, I'm going to retire this product out of my collection because it just doesn't have enough hold. It performed as not having enough hold in all of these combos, or for most of the combos. Well, y'all, Wonder Curl went to the drawing board and came back with a strong hold custard. So this is exactly answering what I was talking about. And this is supposed to have super strong hold, offer great definition, and it's supposed to also be a one and done. So let's get into it.
So this is the Wonder Curl Stronghold Custard for extreme definition and hydration, elongation, and shine. The first 5 ingredients are deionized water, aloe vera leaf extract, shea butter, castor oil, and cetyl alcohol. It's not within the first 5 ingredients, but this product does contain VPVA copolymer, PVP as well, for like those are typical ingredients that provide hold. So the directions say to apply liberal amounts to sections of wet hair and style as usual. They also say that this is a one and done product and that you don't need to add a moisturizer. And then in parentheses, they say unless you want to. So that's exactly what I can be seen doing here. I'm applying the product very liberally, trying to open my hair and make sure that I have gotten it through. Because this is such a thick product, you guys heard me say like what's in the top ingredients. I was like, I don't feel like it's getting through. And I'm opening it up and I'm seeing like dark spots where there's not product getting through. So I was like, I just felt like it was like an experience to drag this through my hair. You know what I mean? So at one point, I was like, okay, I just want to double check for the distribution of this. So I eventually turned the water on the tap, and then I like quickly, like, I don't know, like tip my head in there and give it a little round, as you just saw me do. And then I further rub the hair. And I think I actually probably did a little bit too much and probably added a little too much product when all things are said and done. But, you know, typically when a product is being used as a one and done, I like to like apply extra to make sure. So I feel myself parting off the first section. So you guys are going to be able to see me give this a try. I'm going to pick up my Denman 3-row comb just because I rotate through my tools and this is the one I'm using right now. So clear the ends and then give it a rotate, and what y'all think? All right, so I'm gonna give it a finger shingle coil because that's what I would normally do, and you'll see my reaction after I get done with this row.
Not gonna lie, had me in the first quarter, had me in the first quarter. I will say that small sections, a smoothing tool, and a little shingle 1, 2, 3 really turned this one around. And because of that, I'm not gonna say that this is like beginner friendly because you can't just slap and go. It doesn't automatically clump the hair. I did have to put in some technique to get to the level that I have now. I have a grocery pickup order brewing, and I hear thunder outside the entire time that I've been doing this. So I'm not going to be able to get under the dryer immediately, but I really do hope that once I do finally get under the dryer, this white cast goes away. Right now, I smell very strongly of a bar of soap or body wash. My husband kept saying, do you have soap in your hair? And I'm also really hoping right now that this is a whole lot like Eco Slay Jello Shot, where it is hard AF and then it softens. Because guys, the cast is very much casting. My hair has a very firm cast and it's not a smooth feeling cast. It kind of feels a little rough. So I'm hoping that it breaks underneath this and the hair is really soft and luscious. This is something to be seen, to be announced in the future, because depending on how that goes, it will affect what I may need to do underneath this product, okay? So we are now on day 3 of this Wonder Curl Wash and Go. And there was a scent note that I left out for the previous ones that I was filming. There's kind of like this undercurrent of hair grease. And I am just not the biggest fan of the scent of hair grease. So I did want to note that in case anyone else is similar to myself. And then I had my hands in my hair for whatever reason, and there was a spot in here kind of at the crown where I just may have applied a little bit too much product. It felt kind of gummy in that area. The hair is still really casty, y'all, even this many days in. I have attempted to like pull the hair to kind of create that crunchy noise to break the cast. And I feel like that's not even doing anything. So my hair is very much like frozen in time and very much still in place. So there are 2 parts when it comes to how I feel about this. Okay. So part one, side one is, did this product do what it said that it was going to do? Heck yes, it has delivered on everything that it said that it was going to do. It said that it was super strong hold. It is super strong hold. It says that you can use it as a one and done. You can. Like, I use it as a one and done. My hair does not have any cast, as far as like visual cast. It does have like crunch cast, but as far as like, there's no gray cast to it. Um, it's I mean, I honestly, only thing I could say that maybe it didn't do is, I can't say that it's like super soft or whatever, because the gel cast at this point of filming just hasn't had time to break. And I don't know how long that is going to take. And I got things to be doing. So I'm gonna have to wash my hair soon anyway. So we might not ever really see exactly how this is going to come out. On the other hand of this, there are personal preferences that come into play. And I think that that's what's going to be the main deciding factor for many people. I no longer go for my hair to be this crispy, crunchy, and held in place. Okay. If you don't prefer super strong hold, you might not like this, because they said they won't give it to you and they did. And then also personal preference. If you care a whole lot about shrinkage, I feel like this is probably more shrunken than my typical wash and go that I usually get. Like, the hair shrunk up and it stayed there. Also, if you are not really in a place where you have like technique that's gonna work, that's just gonna kill everything every time, this may not work really well for you, because it definitely is not something you can just slap in your hair and go. Like, I had to use my wash and go technique with the smoothing with the tool and the finger shingling and coiling or whatever to get it to this level of definition. So if you don't have that in your back pocket, you might not get much out of this, right? So as far as thinking of like the future with this product, I am going to try to layer it with stuff. I mean, like I said, the one and done works. It delivers. Like, I could literally go outside like this and it's fine. But I think my idea is I want to layer it with something to help with the product distribution of initially putting it in. It's just so thick, and like trying to spread it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like adding something on the hair already would help with that. Adding something on the hair in advance would also maybe help with the curl definition to get it kind of already defined without having to rely on the technique. Um, but then on the flip side of that is like, I'm like, I don't like, do I want to apply like a leave-in and then put a cream on top of it? So like a cream and then a cream on top of it. I know for a fact I don't want to use anything that has its own like level of hold, because this has a lot of crazy hold. Like, I do not want to put something with hold underneath this on top of this. Like, I would never use my topper gel with this. Like, never. We are good on hold. And then I think of just how this is like really like oil and heavy, like butter based. I don't want to create a situation where a combo might make flakes, where it would react poorly with something. So those are like all the things that are swimming in my head. I'll have to decide what I'm going to do. I may do another combo before I even finish editing this video. So then I might be able to like add some notes in here, or, you know, I can always write something in the description box or in the comments.
Okay, editing Kayla here. And I did go back and do another wash and go with this. And I said, you know what? Let's go all the way crazy with it. So I put in the Pattern Moisture Milk as a leave in. I topped it with the Adwoa Beauty Foam. And then I put the custard over top. I will say the custard was a heck of a lot easier to put in with things under it. And I will also say that I probably used slightly less custard this time around. All in all, though, I did still have to rely on the technique that I used to do my hair to get the definition. So it was kind of a similar result. And I do think that it looked a little like less clumpy, like smaller clumps compared to when it was used alone. So I may eventually go back and do combos in which I'm using only one product underneath it because it at least helped the application process.
To like give you updates on what I ultimately decide to do with this. But yeah, if you're looking for something with strong hold and that you can use as a one and done, Wonder Curl did it.